Ghanatube so and now we need to so I'm sure Michelle and now you're from Ramuji say number one channel news a coso and it a bad mining with your call near about your share and say ya son super panel now they are brave for no musumu no matter till there will be abreast with what is going on in the country. No moment in some people want to say we took a dress and not a do do pan say be can't that's shown some will call our put here the air coso all around the four corners in the country and say you come on so now they are so
Another big story before we go to the vetting story. Now, we are going to do a vetting story. Which minister is going where? What is happening? This one is the big one. Kofi Boakye is in the... Oh, what am I doing? It's not opening, sorry. Kofi Boakye, maybe I'm not doing it well. I got it. All right, yeah, great. Kofi Boakye is in the blue corner. Dr. Dampare is in the red corner. And Dr. Dampare is taking punches from Kofi Boakye. The boxing match commentator is Reverend SUBCRIBE, who is very excited with what is happening. What are we hearing? What are we hearing? What are we hearing? Now, Dr. Dampare here has been IGP for 2 years. A very, very eventful one. A very, very, very public one. A very, very expressive one. On Inauguration Day, Dr. Dampare got down from his car and was directing traffic. The chief constable, the senior-most police officer, the inspector general of police, on Inauguration Day on 7th January, he got down from his car and he was directing traffic at the Independence Square. I don't know what you make of it. The IGP, the solid IGP, the head of police, the police had several drills before Inauguration Day. The Ghana police are so professional. They know what to do. They've been doing inauguration since 92. They must have had several drills on Inauguration Day on which car is coming where, how it's going to park, where it's turning, what is happening. But the IGP still found reason to be in the public eye as doing a which he must have planned and executed perfectly without anybody even knowing that he was part of it. The IGP can arrive at the inauguration and he can only speak to the police people. He can speak to them by signal. That's preparation. When he does this to them, they know what he means. When he does this, they know what he means. When he does this, they know what he means. When he calls them and does this, they know what it means. That's a professional IGP who has trained his people. They come for inauguration. About 20 African heads of state were there. They knew who was coming. They have drilled out the job. But you found the IGP trying so very hard to share the platform with President Mahama. On President Mahama's big day, Inspector General of Police Dampare had to show that he is around. Nobody wanted to share the platform with President and Mrs. Lordina Mahama. Only Dampare felt that he has to be in the picture some. It is Inauguration Day of John Dramani Mahama. Why must Dr. Dampare put himself in the picture? So he comes, stands there, is directing. He knows that as soon as he starts directing police, cameras will pick him up. Dampare is very aware that once he starts directing people, cameras will pick him up. And so he goes there, he's directing the car. He was sharing the video, the platform with President Mahama. Apparently, President Mahama is going to make a decision for all the people he met. Was it this morning? Yesterday morning, he met the security chiefs. They were all there. Dampare was there. So President Mahama met with them and was preparing for the Boakye trip. So he's going to make some changes. The chief of defense staff. The Army commander may be changed, the Air Force commander may be changed, the Navy commander may be changed, Inspector General of Police may be changed. So, who is Akufo Mahama going to talk to about making these changes? You don't have to think too far. When it comes to IGP, COP Kofi Boakye would have a say in it. COP Kofi Boakye would have a say. COP Kofi Boakye is already part of the security architecture that President Mahama has announced. The one that has Prosper Bani on top to Kofi Totobi Kwachi is in there. It has COP Kofi Boakye in there. So you would imagine that on who should be the next IGP, COP Kofi Boakye will have a say. Now, there's a story in there about when COP Kofi Boakye wanted to be... Kofi Boakye since 2017 has always been in the reckoning for the IGP positions. When P2 got in 2017, Kofi Boakye was in the reckoning. When Opon Buenu came in, that's when Kofi Boakye was in the very strong reckoning. When Opon Buenu came in. At that time, Dampare was not in the reckoning. Kofi Boakye was. Then Kofi Boakye was in the reckoning again when Dampare's position was announced. So he's been around the IGP thing for a while, and he thoroughly knows the police. Not many people know the police like Kofi Boakye, you know. And I'm going to show you a video at the end of this of reminding you of Kofi Boakye's striking force days, you know. Kofi Boakye has been around for a while. So naturally, President Mahama is going to rely on him and other people to decide who is going to be the Chief of Defense Staff, IGP, Director of Operations, etc., etc. We understand that in those conversations, this is the picture that is being painted. Kofi Boakye COP thinks that our friend Doctor has served his term. Mr. Mahama, let him step aside. And guess who is enjoying all of this? Owusu Bempah. Owusu Bempah is thoroughly excited that President Mahama will change Dr. Dampare. When you speak to him on the phone, he'll tell you, I have not spoken to him. But those who have spoken to him tell me that that is his view. That, oh, Dampare, obefi police. Adia Dampare di yemi organa ha. Obefi police limpe. I don't know whether Owusu Bempah has any influence on the thing, but I am sure that Kofi Boakye will have some influence on it. So, this is where we end it. It's a gist, it's unfolding. So what is the gist that we are leaving out? When Opon Buenu was competing with Kofi Boakye for the IGP, did Dampare do anything about it? Did he write anything about it? I don't know. It's rumors that we are hearing. So is it payback time? Something like that? I don't know. Later tonight, we're going to tell you about ministerial positions, about the ministerial positions that John Mahama has put out, 23 of them. He's very serious about reducing the minister to 60. We're going to tell you who is competing for who. Watch out in our story when we say it about Dr. Zaneto Rollins, about Shamima Muslim, where they are going, about Beatrice Annan, and I'm focusing on the ladies now, where they are going. And if you look at the original ministerial list today, you see that President Mahama is going to take the ladies very seriously. Hopefully, he's building on Akufo-Addo's legacy of being the gender champion of Africa, as Akufo-Addo was. But President Mahama, it looks like he's going to be doing appointment for the ladies. I have Victoria Hammer also in the list coming, so wait for that. Now, though, let's see Kofi Boakye. This is 1999. COP Kofi Boakye, the striking force commander. Have a look. Kofi Boakye has come a long way. Okay, so keep this in on your phones, and when the action comes, tell people that you first heard it here. Yeah, Kofi Boakye, Dampare. We don't know what's going to happen, but this is the speculation. Okay, let's take some text messages, and then when we come back, we'll take a break, and then we will do the stories on the new ministerial list that John Mahama has given. Who is going where? We seem to have all the information, don't we? It's because people like you call us and tell us. Today I've had so many calls, people telling me, listen, I'm just coming from vRuLKING. I've heard that this guy is going to be there, but he's not good. This guy should be there. Have you also heard about this? Somebody calls me, do you know what's happening in the Interior Ministry? It's not James Agaga anymore. It's this one. So all the information we put here is coming from people like you, and it's also coming from people who are working in the intelligence apparatus. So we get together and put it together and share it. Who should I take first? Shall I go with Fatih first? Yes, okay. So, Fatih first.
Great. So, on the LGBTQ story, Stephen B. Boyer says it's very clear from the president's point of view that there is no need for legislation since our Ghanaian curriculum must inculcate those values. This simply means the president doesn't necessarily need the legislation of the bill. Instead, he will seek a broader consultation for consensus building, and I can therefore conclude that he is not in support of the legislation, but he is against the practices. This is where the ambiguity lies. If it's indeed against the practice, he should clearly support the legislation and finally sign it if that could be possible. Master Planner Jr. says there is no time or room for any discussion on the issue of LGBTQ+, as President Mahama is requesting. During the 2024 elections campaign, President John Dramani Mahama promised to sign the bill in his first 100 days when voted into office. What has changed? They doing the usual propaganda to secure votes from Ghanaians. Politics and democracy is sometimes unfair. Very soon, Ghanaians will see the truth and difference between the NPP and NDC. Now, coming from BF Mensa, he says, our tolerance level for JM is 1,000,000%. We will support him till his term is over. Gastiman says, is Mahama saying that we should rather inculcate it into students' curriculum instead of having a law against it? I can't think far. He must not try a bit to take Ghanaians for granted. Max Berry says, they called Nanado out for not signing, but when Mahama says we should look at it again, they are happy. Samuel Fosuba says, do some George and his NDCs think they alone can read and understand the English? As I normally say, if you are silent, you can't be quoted. And lastly, coming from Nana Okatachi says, so they knew that the bill didn't get to the president's office. Antoinette.
Right. So people better for any for her and number me quite and miss you fair. Was some I cost any the ever on my name. A share passes and then in the kind I will show me video has Christ subscribe. Then share more for also who no one said and some I cost any the ever on my name. Yeah, maintenant saying same way do much I'm reading the share at the everyone show and now you're from your ha Ghanatube so my crumb.